if it's an organization that the Covington Rotary Club is supporting and giving money to on whatever the basis is, like you can be assured that that's been vetted and that's a an organization that not only do we believe in but shares the same values, looking to support the community and build the community. So, you can know that your money that goes into the Covington Rotary Foundation, who is the financial arm of our entity, that money being spent, man, is going to organizations that are the right fit, that spend the money properly, and is making the most community good, which is what we're all looking for, right?
Welcome to the In the Arena podcast. My name is Jared Miguez, a co-host on this podcast that brings you the inspiring stories of our clients who are leaders and innovators across different industries in Southeast Louisiana. They are visionary entrepreneurs, savvy real estate professionals, media creators, military business owners, and community champions. And we are going to showcase the remarkable achievements and share their personal stories. Tune in for insightful conversations, valuable lessons, and motivational stories that are going to reveal their secrets to success and offer you insights to help you on your own path. Welcome to In the Arena podcast. All right, guys, welcome to the In the Arena podcast. I got two good dudes here talking about adding value to St. Tammany Parish. But before we get into what y'all do to make our community a better place, let's talk about who you are and what you do just real quick. The guy... You drive to North Covington, you're going to know this guy because he's got signs everywhere.
It's not true.
Go ahead.
David Holloway, real estate broker with Smith & Core Real Estate. Been agent for 22 years.
22?
Been a long time. Old and bald, Yep.
You had a few
You had
wise
hair when you
whiskers in there.
started?
Yeah. I had lots of hair when I started.
No way.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
real estate will do that.
And it has.
Yeah.
Turned it gray too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I need more time in that
I
hot
got my
tub.
license when I was like 15. That's why.
Get
not
that.
that old.
Yeah. And what about you, buddy?
So I'm Gregory Langham with Malcolm MD, a CPA firm. So that's what I've been doing for about a decade.
Fellow nerd.
CPAs.
30 CPAs, we get looped in together,
Yep,
in that nice little bucket.
Not really, but yeah, I love it. The only thing I don't love is y'all can charge a lot more than I can.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck doing my hourly rate, and I can't do anything else, contingency wise or anything, and that's tough sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like we have more directed jokes at us. than
Definitely
you
more
do.
bad
So
jokes.
It comes with its pluses and minuses.
Well, how much
buddy.
ethical, CPE do y'all take a year?
1 hour.
Not a lot. So we're required to take a lot. I want everybody to know that.
Hey, I'm speaking at a CPA conference on Friday, so I'll be there in the pain with you.
Yep.
But actually, though, we work with a ton of attorneys. So we do a lot of litigation work. So, we're with you guys all the time. And, without, specifically attorneys keeping people honest, Louisiana specifically would be in a lot of trouble. So
Yeah, we always try to talk about the four main people professions that everybody has to have in their life if they're going to operate a business. You have to have your attorney, your CPA, your advisor, and your banker. And having a relationship with attorneys and CPAs and before you need them is critical to business operating. We try to tell people before you have to hire one of those professionals, interview and meet those people so you don't have to feel so desperate to hire somebody, and you can pick the people that actually relate to you and are going to help you grow your business instead of potentially slowing you down by charging you more or making bad advice to try to get you to stick around longer. So CPAs and attorneys are critical to business. So are real estate agents too, buddy. I don't want you to feel left out.
I was feeling left out there for a moment. I appreciate it.
And also our professional avocado cutters, which you are also, correct?
Yeah, might not be professional at this point. Got my battle wound here. If it's not so ripe of an avocado, you can stab the seed and get away with it. And I misjudged the ripeness. I didn't quite squeeze it right. And I put the knife in there and it went through and jugged me real hard. I'm like crouched over the sink, bellowing in pain.
Yeah.
Like I looked over at my hand, I'm like, all right, my fingers still work. I'm
Still good.
Good.
that's what matters.
Is that a professional suture there, or are you?
I did have to close it with a little butterfly strip, and then.
So if anybody gets injured in this building, they're safe.
I could you'll be okay to get to the ER.
Okay.
That's about it, right?
to know.
Are you CPR qualified?
Yeah. Nah, I was. It was expired a long time ago.
I feel safer now.
Yeah.
All right. So, but y'all are professionals. Y'all are both very successful in what you do. But today we're going to talk about a community group that adds a lot of value to St. Tammany Parish. I was at an event last week, and somebody asked me the other day, "Why do you give so much money to these charitable organizations? Like you worked hard for it. Why give it away? Why be a part of these things?" And I as a business owner trying to, hit the goals and accomplish the goals that I want to accomplish, the only way that I can do that is if the community is thriving and gives me the opportunity to do that. And we talk a lot about giving money to community organizations that are making our parish a better place to operate, to live, to play, and the Rotary Club does that, right? There's Rotaries across the country
and the world.
But I know that the chapters here are very active. They're making a big impact. So, what is y'all's roles in Rotary, and why'd y'all choose Rotary over all the other organizations to join?
Yeah, I'll let Greg go first.
So, the role I'm president-elect for the current year. So next year I'll be the president of it.
Sucker.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. They got me
not
good.
wrong.
As soon as I walked in, they said, "Here you go, promotion." And I was like, "Oh, I love those." Anyway, but as a CPA, certified public accountant, right? Public. I like to, emphasize that. The idea is to cultivate your community, right? So, how can you do that with your expertise, specifically in everything they need? Let them focus on what they want, right? They want to make money. They want to make their business better. The whole nine. What do they not want to do? The books, right? The tax return, a test work, or anything to do with numbers, actually, except if the profit margin is higher than what they expected, right?
Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, how can I repurpose that? Well, Rotary specifically is 100% led volunteers, right? So we don't get paid. We don't do anything. The only thing we do is we have a social network. Actually, John Stevens with y'all is a member, and, stuff like that. And let me think about how I want to, phrase.
What's the main purpose of the Rotary?
Right. So the Covington Rotary Club was founded in 1927. So it's been here a long, a hot
About
minute,
to be
right?
100 years, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, right. And so, the idea behind it is a service organization which gives back into the community, which helps a lot of people, specifically donors, vet who to give the money to, right? So now you have a network of people that are in the community, always work in the community. You give the money to them, right? Hypothetically with donating and stuff, and you just make sure it's properly represented, right? Specifically with professionals. There's other organizations too that are similar to not feeding the need, but the Covington Rotary Club, right? There's plenty of them. And the idea behind it is, you want your costs to be, probably about 75% of the actual revenue generated, right? So the opposite. So like the revenue generated should be 75% of the cost. So like in this case, for us, we usually try to aim for 80+%. Well, some of those nonprofits y'all have heard about that, this is getting to nerd talk, but, we want to kind of, go with that. And obviously I might be talking fast, so sorry, but we can edit, right? So like my idea behind it is, a lot of these nonprofits you hear about have employees, right? They have all this kind of stuff. Where, what do you think that profit margin is going to be on those? 3%? 50%? That money's not reaching where you want to as well as if it impact as you thought, right? But once you get into 75% plus, right, you can pretty much guarantee the money's there. That's where these 100%, volunteer-based organizations come
Which
into
Rotary
play.
is 100% volunteer based.
100%,
So the
no one
100%
gets
of the
paid.
money that you give to Rotary is going to be given to somebody in the community. So as a Rotary Club, is the board that is elected? You say you're the incoming president. Are y'all making the decisions on where the money's going to go?
That's correct.
Okay, and y'all make that decision on an annual basis, or is it just are there certain places you put the money every year?
It's like we have a budget every year. We have to submit to the club. Not only does the board, the board puts the budget together, and then it's submitted to the club as well. So every member of the club, has an involvement in directing where the money goes. I will say that if it's an organization that the Covington Rotary Club is supporting and giving money to on whatever the basis is, like you can be assured that that's been vetted and that's an organization that not only do we believe in but shares the same values, looking to support the community and build the community. So, you can know that your money that goes into the Covington Rotary Foundation, who is the financial arm of our entity, that money being spent, man, is going to organizations that are the right fit, that spend the money properly, and is making the most community good, which is what we're all looking for.
For
right?
sure, 100%.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's good. It's a good thing, man.
So as a member of the Rotary and there's several chapters. There's 2 chapters here. Or
So
one?
there's one in Covington, one in Slidell,
Slidell.
a new one just popped up in Lacombe. There's one in Hammond, Bogalusa, Franklinton. Man, they're I think worldwide Rotary has over 1 million members.
Oh, wow.
It's insane. It really
It's a
is.
huge
So
network.
as a member of your local the Covington chapter, are you getting the opportunity to vote on where the money's going?
Oh, for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
each one of each member of the organization gets
They
a
has a say. Like when we have our general meeting and the budget comes to a vote, that's your opportunity to say, hey, I see you've allocated this much money for this organization. I want to talk about that. certainly, again, the budget starts at the board level, right? And that's where there's more discussion and robust things going on. But then those budgets are then brought to the general membership that have to vote on as well.
And I know the Slidell Rotary, they have nonprofits that come and speak to give ideas
Oh, yeah.
that you can learn about all the different nonprofits in your area. So you're not just cycling through the same ones just because it may be what the board members know. So they're always inviting new nonprofits to come in and say, this is my purpose. This is how we spend our money. Here's our books.
Yep.
This is how we align with your values.
It's funny. Like we talk about this a lot of times because if you're a business owner or a small business owner trying to get started and you operate in and around St. Tammany Parish, there's always something to do.
Always.
Oh,
We were having that conversation, waiting to come in here today.
There's always
Right?
something to do, and there's always
something
No
going on.
excuse.
and there's
Get involved.
There's a ton of ways to add value to the community, and I think if somebody's listening to this and you're new and you want to connect with people and you want to learn more about the community, it sounds like Rotary is an easy place for you to plug into, add value immediately, but get to see and taste a little bit of what St. Tammany Parish has and from a community building opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So, there's a race that y'all do or y'all used to do with little ducks down at Defunctor River.
Yeah, yeah. So we have a fundraiser called the Quackafalaya that every year, we sell. You can sponsor a duck. Your duck is numbered, and then we dump them in the river. And it's not a long race, but they race down the river a little bit, and we try and corral them as best we can. And there's some prizes that are given for the number 1 through 10.
Very
and again, all that money again goes back to the nonprofits that we sponsor and support.
Very cool.
Which is really cool. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's fun.
So tell me about this event you have coming up.
All right, so we actually have another event like Quackafalaya. So that's the one you're talking about with the duck racing. And it's the same thing, but this time it's a luncheon. It's called Feeding the Needy. So what we do is we distribute a ton of
Santa
turkey
White.
packages with sides the whole nine during Christmas for specifically targeting, individuals in need in St. Tammany, Washington Parish. And the idea behind it is, John Baldwin with Baldwin Subaru, one of the long time, he's been doing it for 23 years. So this is a big event, a long period of time, 100% volunteer led. So this is crazy, I'm telling you. And the idea behind it, though, is that for 2 weeks during Christmas, everybody's going home. Everybody's excited for Christmas. But there's actually people that, they're not really that excited. And the idea behind it is because their food's no longer subsidized, right? So now they don't have quality meals. And that's where we came in with an idea of we'll provide them packages that feed, a ton of people with a ton of leftovers. They can have something to smile about. And that's what we like pushing. So last year we were able to push 1,500 packages. Wow. That feeds about 8 people. That's, that's 12,000. Right? So that's amazing. It's an amazing, initiative, and it's 100% volunteer led, right? So, our revenue off of that, 80%, right? Which goes 100% into the packages. So the more money we make, the more packages we get. I think I just got done talking with the Northshore Food Bank, which we normally supply a majority of our, we attempt to supply a majority of our packages for, because there's also Washington Parish that we look into. But I think they were saying it's close to like 1,900 people in need, and
Really in this area?
In this area.
And
there's statistics with Alice that the United Way prepares, and it's almost 60%. And that's absolutely wild, and anything we can do to help, and everyone, like we were just talking about, is interested in helping, looking into it. Not this specifically, but just all the events. They all want to plug in. They all want to contribute in some way. And, the biggest problem with nonprofits, I feel like in St. Tammany, is awareness, right? It's so old school here. Everybody wants to do newspapers. Everybody wants to do word of mouth, right? Well, bringing social media is phenomenal for these nonprofits. I mean, just this year, you see record breaking. How's that happening? They're just posting on social media, and that's it.
Yeah. It's funny how video works. But, you mentioned something a second ago that I think resonates a lot with businesses, and that's what I believe social media is all about, is really establishing values and then letting people know who you are and what you're about, right? I mean, you guys are business operators, and y'all do business. You own your own business. You work for a business, and there's a common set of values that business operates within, and you don't have to list those values out. But if you live the values every day, people know what you're about, and they relate to you. And so the values that Rotary has, it seems to match the values that you guys have. And you mentioned that they have very strong values. So, do you want to talk about the values of Rotary and Not to put you on the spot, but
no, it's okay. So I mean, obviously, the Rotary motto is service above self. So we'll start there. Again, everyone that is in the organization, that's we really subscribe to that, and that's a core belief and value that we have, is that we're going to serve people above ourselves. I think what is one of the things that is really cool about the Rotary Club that I step back and like, man, you look at all these people in the room, and we all come from different backgrounds, different religions, different denominations, different whatever, man. And we're in there for the greater good of humanity, right? To do a difference in the local community first, but also on a worldwide scale. And I think that's something that is cool to be a part of when you can take. Again, Rotary started as business owners, and now you have lots of different. It crosses a big section, from a socio standpoint. So you're all in there. Everyone subscribes to this service above self, and then obviously you have integrity that's there, and honesty, and accountability, and your normal type of values that you would expect to see in that type of organization. And then we also have when you get folks in that they're putting the greater good in front of them, right, and that they're being selfless, you can get a lot done. It goes back to what Greg is saying, is that everyone is volunteer based. None of us are getting paid, but yet, we're in there trying to, make that difference. And, again, locally first. And then obviously Rotary does give you the opportunity to make a global impact, which I think is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
One of the things that we've done in the past, our club, our little Covington club, a little club that could, is what we joke about sometimes. We sponsored a mammography, if that's the right word, bus in India. That we contributed to put this, equipment on the street, in another country, man, trying to, do preventative care, with cancer. And, so there's an instance where it's a local club, that is contributing to a greater, organization that we're part of to make an impact on a global scale.
It's cool. You mentioned local statistics, you mentioned national statistics or worldwide statistics. And obviously, again, there's intentionality behind it, not just saying it and not living it. Y'all are actually living those things. Yeah. Service above self. There's a book called Good to Great by Jim Collins, and he talks about ambition a lot. And you have to have ambition, but you have to have a level of selfless ambition for the company, or with the organization or the community, in order for you to really thrive.
Level 5 leader.
If you're thinking of yourself all the time, people are going to realize that. And a lot of businesses, I'm also toying with this idea, reading a book called The Story Brand, and they talk about how everybody tries to portray themselves as a hero, right? Instead of trying to let the community be the hero, and you're just the supporter of that person or the business that's trying to be the hero, and you're there trying to help them, guide them to where they want to be. And I think that's the purpose of our podcast a lot of times, is to help promote our community, so that let it continue to shine, so that we all have enough room for us to accomplish what we want to accomplish within it. So. Very cool. So what is December the 9th? What's going on December the 9th? Mr. Billy Nungesser is going to be there. It's at St. Paul's. What's going on?
Yeah, what happens that day?
So we actually have a luncheon then, and it's a fundraiser for the event. So we're going to have hundreds of people there eating lunch, and Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser gets to speak, and we're going to have someone there speaking about Rotary. Actually, Brian Hall, who is on the board of Rotary. So out of 11 people on the planet. The international board, not
the national. Okay,
dude,
cool.
It's a big deal, right? For again, Covington. A little Covington club. We have one of our members is going to be on the board of directors for Rotary International, a club that is over 1 million members. It's a big deal.
Wow. So is he a full-time staff member of Rotary? Or is he
no, he's volunteer, man. He's volunteer. It goes back to that again, right?
I'd like to talk about the Rotary, the wheel, right? So like the idea behind the wheel is that how many hours are you going to work in this work week, right? How much are you going to work for free? Let's be real about it. Maybe 1 or 2, okay? But if you
of them, I work all of them
for free. Yeah,
for free.
But
let's be realistic about it. But if let's say I had 60 people, what's 60 times 2? Let's say I had 80 people, 1 million people, right? You see how many hours we can get if you combine it all in a group effort in a direction, And I wanted to also go back to something you were talking about a minute ago about like the funding and such like that. So like during COVID, right, it caused a lot of issues, and the biggest issue was like the corporate pullback, which 100% makes sense. I get where they're coming from, but for like our side of it, it makes outreach a little bit harder than it should be. And then when you talk to them, they want you to be sustainable, right? As a nonprofit in general, you can't be sustainable, right? It's just not how it works, because every year you have to find new donors. So what do you need? Community outreach. So you have to be pounding the ground. Well, if you ask them what sustainable is, it's someone that gets state funding, something that's forced down your throat, something that, you may or may not have wanted, and they're in your community, right, doing we don't know what, right? I'm not trying to get political or anything about it, but that's also who everyone's competing against, and, they're not that efficient, right? And 100% lead, you can't really, get around that. That's how I feel about it.
Well, I think it's impressive that a 100% volunteer organization, because there are a couple of them in the real estate world. A lot of the boards are volunteer based, but to have it still come together and be so organized with a plan and have a clear purpose and have people push it. The only reason it's around for as long as it's been around is it's got to have some common ground and a clear purpose as to what it's accomplishing, for everybody to get behind it. Can you continue to push whenever they're spending so much of their, they want to be spending so much time, in their business or with their family, and sacrificing their time to be with their business and their family to do this. It's got to have a very clear purpose and an impactful purpose too.
Actually, if they find these flyers, which hopefully you're finding them, we've been trying to spread them out pretty well, but or at least on social media, the QR code will kind of lead up to everything. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about awareness. So even if you financially can't support, that's not what we're really targeting. We're targeting awareness so we can actually bring this to more people, to bring more smiles, And that sounds like a sales pitch, because it is. I practiced it really hard, but
you did great.
In reality, though, it's bigger. It's service above self, like David Holloway has talked about. And all we're trying to do is, get in front of everybody, let everybody know about it. And hopefully, other people have the same idea. They fill these seats in these podcasts, and we all can, have, a group, like, what do you call it? Like a community driven, initiative. I know y'all are in the community really well here. I've actually attended some of the events here you sponsored, and it's great. So
thank you for noticing.
Yeah. I came here when Tyler and the right pieces were playing.
Yeah,
it was great.
Nice.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah, Terabella has definitely
good one.
been. They've been consistent, and it's paying off because the events here are getting really, really well attended. And the bands keep getting better, so I'm excited for Terabella for sure.
Well, I think that most business owners in November and December look for excuses not to work, and this is a great one.
Yeah.
You can go to have lunch with your friends, invite everybody, get a table. Y'all can split the cost if your business doesn't want to sponsor it, but have a good time. And I always love the hashtag party with a purpose, right? If you're going to go do something socially, do it with a purpose that's adding some value to the community, and y'all are bringing
100%.
something to us to do that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.